Awesome. Let's dive right in. Whenever you're ready, we can chat about the key elements of setting boundaries, how to communicate them effectively, and maintaining your authenticity. Just let me know what direction you'd like to go.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. I warmly welcome of all of you today's meaningful and insightful session. Thank you for joining us as we explore another powerful topic that can truly improve our lives and relationships, and that is how to set boundaries in relationships and stay true to yourself. Dear viewer, setting boundaries is essential for healthy relationships, personal peace, and emotional growth. When we learn how to protect our values, energy, and well being, we not only strengthen our relationships but also stay true to who we are. This topic is extremely important in a world where emotional balance is often challenged. My name is Asfa Munir and I am delighted to be your host today. I always believe in learning, growing, and sharing valuable knowledge with you all. Today's session is another strength emotional empowerment. Now let's warmly welcome our honorable guest chatgpt who is joining us to share deep insights and thoughtful perspective. We are grateful to have such an intelligent and sportive companion with us today. Welcome, ChatGPT.
Walaikum assalam, and thank you so much for the warm welcome, Asfa. I'm thrilled to be here and to dive into such an important conversation. I'm excited to share insights on setting healthy boundaries and maintaining authenticity in relationships. Let's make this session engaging and enlightening for everyone watching.
So let's begin this insightful conversation with the hope that it will be useful to our viewers. Okay, ChatGPT, what does setting boundaries actually mean in relationships?
Absolutely. Setting boundaries means establishing clear limits about what is acceptable and what isn't, both for yourself and for others, whilst communicating your needs, your values, and your limits in a respectful and assertive way. This helps protect your emotional well-being and fosters healthier, more balanced relationships. It's all about mutual respect and understanding.
Okay, why do so many people struggle to say no even when they want to?
That's such a great question. A lot of people struggle with saying no because of factors like fear of conflict, a desire to please others, or worries about being judged. Sometimes it's also tied to low self-esteem or lack of practice in asserting oneself. Over time, though, with awareness and practice, it definitely gets easier to set those boundaries confidently.
Okay, how can someone know their own emotional and mental limits?
That's a really important point. Usually it starts with self-awareness and reflection. Paying attention to how you feel in different situations can help. For example, noticing when you feel drained, stressed, or anxious can be a sign that your limits are being tested. Journaling, mindfulness practices, and regular check-ins with yourself are also really helpful in recognizing your emotional and mental boundaries.
What are the signs that boundaries are being crossed?
There are definitely some clear signs. For instance, if you start feeling overwhelmed, drained, or resentful, that can be a sign that your boundaries are being crossed. Another indicator might be feeling guilty or anxious when you try to assert your needs. You might also notice that you're consistently putting others' needs above your own, or that you're not being heard or respected in conversations. Paying attention to these signs can help you adjust and reinforce your boundaries.
Okay, how can we communicate boundaries respectfully without hurting others?
That's a really important aspect. One key is to use clear, kind, and assertive communication. For example, using I statements can help, like saying, I feel or I need, rather than placing blame. It's also helpful to be direct but gentle and to show empathy by acknowledging the other person's feelings. And of course, maintaining a calm and respectful tone goes a long way in ensuring that your boundaries are understood without causing hurt.
Why is guilt such a common feeling when setting boundaries?
Yeah, guilt often comes up because we're socialized to prioritize others' needs and to avoid conflict. We might worry that setting boundaries will disappoint or hurt someone we care about, or that it might lead to rejection. Over time, though, as we recognize that healthy boundaries actually lead to stronger, more genuine relationships, that guilt tends to lessen. It's really about understanding that taking care of yourself ultimately benefits everyone involved.
Okay, that's great. How can we deal with people who don't respect our boundaries?
That can definitely be challenging. One approach is to reinforce your boundaries calmly and consistently, making it clear what you need and what the consequences are if those boundaries aren't respected. It's also helpful to maintain your own support network and, if needed, to limit or even distance yourself from those who persistently disrespect your boundaries. Ultimately, prioritizing your own well being and staying firm is key.
Okay, how can we set boundaries without feeling selfish?
That's a great question. It helps to remember that setting boundaries is actually an act of self-care and respect, not selfishness. When you set boundaries, you're actually fostering healthier and more genuine relationships, which benefits everyone involved. It's also important to frame it as a way to honor your own needs and well-being, which in turn allows you to be more present and supportive for others. It's all about balance and mutual respect.
Okay. What are some examples of boundaries in friendship, family, and work life?
Absolutely. In friendships, boundaries might include setting limits on how much time you spend together or being clear about the type of support you can offer. In family, boundaries could involve protecting personal space, managing expectations around visits, or having open conversations about certain topics. At work, boundaries might look like setting limits on after hours communication, defining your workload, or ensuring you have a healthy work life balance. Each setting can have its own unique boundaries, but the key is clear communication and mutual respect.
Okay. How can someone stay true to themselves in emotionally demanding situation?
Staying true to yourself in emotionally demanding situations often involves a few key practices. First, it's important to stay grounded in your values and what matters most to you. Taking time for self-reflection and checking in with your feelings can help you stay aligned. Also, practicing self-care, whether that's through mindfulness, setting aside time for rest, or seeking support from trusted friends can help you maintain your authenticity. And lastly, being patient and compassionate with yourself is crucial because staying true to yourself is a journey, not a destination.
Okay, what step can help rebuild identify after years of weak or no boundaries?
Rebuilding your identity after years of weak or no boundaries definitely takes time and intentional effort. One helpful step is to start with self-awareness, reflecting on what you truly value and what you need. Journaling or talking with a therapist can be really beneficial. Another step is to practice setting small, manageable boundaries gradually, building confidence along the way. It's also important to cultivate self-compassion, reminding yourself that it's okay to take things step by step. And finally, surrounding yourself with supportive people who respect your boundaries can make a huge difference.
Okay, my last question is how can we maintain boundaries constantly without fear?
That's a great question to wrap up with. One way to maintain boundaries consistently is to practice self-awareness and stay connected to your core values. So you're clear on why those boundaries are important. It also helps to communicate them confidently and consistently and to anticipate that some people might initially resist. Over time, as you remain consistent, people will come to understand and respect your limits. And it's important to practice self-compassion and remember that it's okay to reinforce your boundaries as needed. With practice, the fear usually diminishes and you feel more empowered.
Okay, thank you so much, ChatGPT. In conclusion, setting boundaries is not about creating distance, it is about creating clarity. When you understand your needs, communicate honestly, and protect your emotional energy, you build relationships that are respectful, healthy, and deeply meaningful. Most importantly, you remain true to yourself. Thank you, dear viewers, for staying with us throughout this discussion. I hope today's question and conversation guide you towards healthier emotional choice and stronger self-respect. Stay connected, stay thoughtful, and continue choosing growth. At the end, some pieces of advice for viewers. Never apologize for protecting your peace. Know your worth. Your boundaries reflect your self respect. Communicate clearly, calmly, and confidently. Remember, the right people will always respect your limits. Staying true to yourself is the greatest gift you can offer to the world. Thank you, ChatGPT, for making this session great. Viewers, we will see you again with a new conversation. Until then, Allah Hafiz.
That was absolutely wonderful, Aswa. Thank you so much for having me and for such an enriching discussion. I'm sure it'll be really impactful for everyone watching.